Welcome to the Selling Trust Podcast with Nathan Mark. Did you know you're 10 times more likely to close a deal with an existing client than a new prospect? Today, we're diving into the Mark method to help you transform transactions into lifelong partnerships and build a referral flywheel that works for you 24/7. You're being an authoritarian douchebag, and it's costing you your team. Yeah, I said it. We've been hearing a lot about authoritarianism in today's current events and, top-down leadership styles. And what was really interesting is actually, this weekend when I was at church, the pastor was preaching on Mark 10, verses 42 through 45, in particular. And really this part of the Bible goes into talking about servant leadership or being a servant to others, right? The first shall be last and the last shall be first. If you want to have a high position in the kingdom of heaven, you will have a low position in this earthly kingdom, et cetera, et cetera. Basically telling his disciples that they need to give before that they receive. They need to help others before helping themselves, putting their ideas of greatness, just really flipping those ideas on their head. So there's a couple things worth talking about when it comes to servant leadership, because it really is a winning strategy with your sales teams. And honestly, I'm gonna look at some notes that I got. If you're not, into the whole Bible reference or anything like that, that's cool. We'll give you a secular reference. So there's a guy named Adam Grant, pretty famous dude. He graduated from the Wharton School of Business. Don't know if you've heard of that. It's an okay school. He goes on in a book that he wrote called Give and Take. I encourage you to check it out. But in this book, he classifies people into 3 different categories, right? You essentially have givers, you have matchers, and you have takers. And they're all kind of self-explanatory, right? Givers kind of seek to give before anything else. The matchers are quid pro quo, right? You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. You did one thing, I'm gonna do one thing. They're keeping score. And then we're all familiar with takers, right? That's a very common concept. There's a lot of those in the world, and they just take, right? They're exhausting. But what's really, really interesting is in this book that he wrote, he found that the ends of the bell curve, right? So it's like an inverted bell curve, right? So it starts high, and then it goes low, and then it goes high again. And the x-axis here is success. There is a clumping of givers on the far left and far right side of this inverted bell curve. And what's interesting about that is, when you're a giver, you can really be taken advantage of, right? You can be on the side of the bell curve that isn't the successful side because you don't know how to kind of shield yourself or navigate your giving process in a way that is healthy and respectful to yourself. Conversely, though, he also found that the most high-level, successful people are actually givers, and the matchers and the takers are in the middle. They're a standard bell curve with a typical deviation. And so I think it's fascinating that this guy, and he's not religious at all, has come to the exact same conclusion in his book, that to be ultra successful and to be, kind of the cream of the crop, top of the top, best of the best, you have to give. You have to know how to give. I think there's a couple reasons, well, more than a couple reasons on why this is important. But personally, the reasons that I have found, shifting, because man, let me back up. When I first started leading people, I was definitely authoritarian, top down, like, hey, listen, just do what I say, right? Like, I've been doing this a while, just do what I say. Stop asking questions, please, and just listen, right? I find myself doing this with my children, and I really have to pump the brakes and pull back. But, just listen, just do as I say, and everything's gonna be fine, right? That doesn't help, right? It doesn't breed collaboration. It doesn't breed idea sharing. It doesn't breed good channels of communication. You're going to have better communication when you provide a servant leadership environment, when you are giving people the ability to speak, when you are, asking people for feedback and advice and getting the knowledge from the group of people that it's going to be affecting, and then executing on that. You're establishing buy-in before you even do anything. So your team is going to be more apt to follow the things that you eventually decide on. And trust me, they all know that at the end of the day, it's your decision, but they're going to be more apt to do it because you included them in the decision. Now, does that mean it's always going to work out and it's always going to be the greatest thing? No, but now it's a shared responsibility. So if it doesn't work out, you as the leader don't bear all the responsibility of the decision. Now, yes, you still ultimately are the leader. You made the call, you made the decision. So it's on your shoulders, but you're going to have a team that's going to back you up. If you said, hey guys, listen, I don't know about this. I'm kind of, on the fence, but the majority of you seem to be saying like, let's do it this way. And I can't see how it's going to be like disastrous if we do it. Let's give it a try. I don't see those employees as coming back and trying to crucify the manager or the leader for making that decision, because it was a group decision. It was a decision that was injected with feedback from the team. And ultimately, the idea is that the team wants to succeed as a team. I would, I'm making that assumption, I guess, shame on me. The other massively, important thing about servant leadership is it gives room for iterative improvement. And what I mean by that is people aren't afraid to fail when there is a boss that is, leading the way, leading from the front, giving, providing, hey, listen, I'm going to give you this opportunity. One thing that I do with my team is I give them things that are beyond their capabilities, not because I want them to fail, but I do want them to struggle and grow. And if they fail, I make sure that I'm there in the background, making sure that, hey, listen, I got you. It's gonna be okay. We can get through this. I never give them something that can go so disastrous that it is going to ruin my business. But at the same time, I give them the opportunity to either succeed and grow or fail and grow. And what I've seen in this approach, instead of me trying to do everything and control everything and it's gotta be my way, it's gotta be my decision, I now have an empowered team. They are willing to make decisions. They are more comfortable. I'm not gonna say completely comfortable, but they're more comfortable with making mistakes. In doing so, our business moves quickly, it moves rapidly, and more often than not, it moves successfully because they kind of know what they need to do and how they need to navigate things to have the success. I'm trying to empower them and kind of taking that back seat and taking that servant role of, hey, how can I help you, right? Help me help you. It just allows for better growth. And so I see people, kind of accelerate in their careers when they're treated this way. When I used to do it the old way, just, hey, do as I say and everything's gonna be okay, I wound up with so many more phone calls. I wound up with so much more neediness, if you will, on my team. Not to say that I don't want to talk to people and help them out making the right decisions and learning new things, but I didn't really get to focus on moving the needle and advancing things forward because I was always just answering a litany of mundane questions, right? Hey, is this okay? Constantly being asked for permission or being asked if something was being done correctly. When it's like, now I'm more concerned about, the result, like, hey, how do we get there? I don't really care how we get there. It's up to you. If it's gonna take you 14 hours or if it's gonna take you 4 hours, like, as long as the quality of work is there and we're doing what we say we're gonna do and we're providing great customer service and taking care of our people, awesome. Being a servant leader and taking care of the people around you, it's hard. It puts you in a place of vulnerability. It puts you in a place to not necessarily look the best all the time. But on the flip side, I think it builds stronger teams. It has built stronger teams in my case. And I think it gives more trust and it gives more rapport and it makes a more resilient group of people that you're surrounded with. And man, grit and resiliency is just like so underrated. Having that on your team, you can get through anything, right? Oh, and by the way, third thing, bonus item, retention. Being a servant leader, your retention is going to go through the roof. If people feel heard, respected, understood, empathized with, right? I'm running out of fingers here. You're gonna find these people wanting to stay on your team, wanting to continue working with you and working for you and letting, their success be your success and your success be their success. And it's just gonna create this ecosystem of winning because you're giving the respect. And you're not making demands and you're not telling everyone exactly what they need to do. You're providing vision and you're letting people carry out the vision. So, if you find yourself having trouble with being a servant leader, if you find yourself having trouble kind of letting go of the reins and empowering your teams to take control, even though if they take control and do something wrong, yes, that is going to impact how things look on you, and it's scary. But if you're having trouble finding the ability to do that or figuring that out, like, let's talk. I would love to talk to you about it. I'd love to have this conversation with you about your unique situation. Whatever might be going on with your team, however they might be structured, whoever the unique personalities might be, where to give, a little extra, where to maybe dial it back. Let's talk about it. Book a call with me, nathanmark.com. DM me down below or leave a comment down below, excuse me. You can also DM me, that's fine. But I'd love to talk to you because at the end of the day, when you learn how to give, especially from a leadership position, and you learn how to empower the people around you, it turns into this just beautiful thing where people feel like, You've given them the reins. You've made them in charge of their success. They're not just doing what they've been told to do and being little robots, and if it doesn't work, it's completely on you. Instead, they've been given a vision, they've been given a finish line, and it's like, hey, go get it. And if you need help getting there, I'm here for you. I will remove roadblocks. I will give you the tools that you need to get there, and we're gonna do it together. You're gonna learn and grow. I'm gonna learn and grow. We're all gonna learn and grow. We might not have infinite success. We might not have immediate success, but there will be more success than anything else as your team continues to develop, because they are going to be capable of thinking and handling things on their own. I'd love to talk to you about this. I'd love to hear from you on your thoughts about this. And with that being said, good luck. Servant leadership is hard. It's scary, it's vulnerable, but it's so worth it. I hope to talk more about this in the days to come. Take care. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Selling Trust podcast with Nathan Mark. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with a colleague or visit nathanmark.com to download your free copy of the Revenue Event Cookbook. Keep building trust and transforming relationships. We'll catch you in the next episode. See ya.